Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a video talking about what my top 5 most anticipated moments are for Game of Thrones Season 4. Right, so this one will contain spoilers for anyone who has not read up to the end of A Storm of Swords, the novel, of course, from A Song of Ice and Fire from George R. R. Martin. So if anyone hasn't read the books, you may or may not want to watch this because this is heavy spoilers. We're talking about what are the 5 most anticipated moments for people that have read or have read at least A Storm of Swords up to there, and getting to see those crucial moments in the book actually actioned out in live action on screen. So, with all the great visuals and effects and acting and everything of the sort, music and all that, see those moments really brought to life. Now, after reading A Storm of Swords, I decided, I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to talk about which moments I am most excited for personally, my top 5 most anticipated moments, the ones I just cannot wait to see in Game of Thrones in actual, live action form. So we'll start off with number 5, and then we'll count it down to 1 in order of least anticipated to most anticipated. Number 5 is going to be the appearance of Lady Stoneheart, Catelyn Stark, of course, in her afterlife, ghostly type, sort of part resurrected form, and to see how they're going to handle that in the TV show, because that's an interesting one if they do it at all. I mean, there's a chance they may just leave that out, but it is something that I would really, really like to see actually. The makeup effects and how they're going to portray that character, and to see her get some vengeance even from the afterlife for what happened to Robb Stark. Of course, Bran, sort of foreshadowing it with saying that the gods can't forgive. Walder Frey killed a guest in his home, well, many. So there's a lot of things building up to it, and I think it's going to be really nice to see some vengeance from the Stark side with the appearance of Lady Stoneheart, should they go through with it. I hope they do, and I really just can't wait to see an undead type Catelyn. I'm really stoked to see how they pull that off, and it could be pretty horrifying. It could be one of probably the scariest thing we've seen in Game of Thrones so far. So I'm really excited for that because I love horror type scary stuff. So for me, that's my number 5, 5th most anticipated moment, is the appearance of Lady Stoneheart, and to see her get vengeance for what happened last season. Moving on, number 4 is going to be just generally the wildling attack on the wall and how they bring that to life, because that's something that it's great to read, but to see it, like when we see the scenes in the TV series of the wall, it's really something special to just visually see that kind of layout and the perspective they get from on top of the wall, looking down, climbing the wall, all these different scenes that we've already seen in the series. To actually get to see the full-on attack from Mance Rayder against the wall, I'm really, really excited to see how they pull that off. Going to be lots of great moments, of course, with Jon Snow, in and around that, part of that, and sounds like there's going to be lots of action, and I'm really excited to see how that looks. Get to see some of the giants and different crazy warriors and things that Mance Rayder does have with the wildling side, and to see them try to siege the wall, the most impenetrable, highest, biggest, everything defensive structure in all of Westeros. So I'm really excited to see how they pull that off in the series. And even with the CG and everything, I just visually can't wait to see that brought to life. So that's my number 4. Number 3, major. Now we're getting into huge spoilers. If anyone doesn't know what we're talking about here, I don't want to spoil, what's going to happen for you. So if you haven't read, please turn off now, because I'm going to ruin some really important stuff here that's coming up. My 3rd most anticipated moment is going to be the death of Tywin at the hands of Tyrion. To see that acted out, I'm really stoked to see how Charles Dance pulls that off, and oh man, just the whole thing, and to see how they interpret the death and the whole in the end doesn't, he didn't shit gold type thing, this type of thing. It's so dark, and it's so, like kind of, I don't know, it's a weird way to go with the story, to have, the Starks who we follow, the perspective of them, and then the person that ends up eventually actually killing Tywin is maybe the person you would least expect. So that whole thing, I'm really excited to see how they pull that off in the TV series, Tywin's death at the hands of Tyrion. Just really, that one almost was higher on the list, but I put it at number 3 because these other two look to be so good. The second most anticipated moment for me, after watching the trailer especially, is going to be Oberyn Martell versus the Mountain. This one for me, I am so excited to see the whole battle. I mean, in the trailer we get a clip of Oberyn as he's kind of spinning around with his spear type poison spear weapon. I guess I would call it like a spear weapon, but it's kind of like that, but it's got a weighted tip to it, of course. And then of course the Mountain. I mean, it's kind of like, it brings up to me, it makes me think of like David versus Goliath, but not exactly, because I mean, I guess when anybody fights the Mountain, it's like David versus Goliath because he's so big, right? But I mean, Oberyn's not small by any means. He's very athletic, and he's kind of tall. He's above average height too. So it's not exactly that, but I am really excited to see how they play that out, and that might be one of the most epic sword fight type battles, medieval type battles ever on screen. I really think so. I mean, Jaime versus Eddard was probably the most epic I can think of in terms of like a sword battle. But this one coming up, just based on, we don't know much about Oberyn when we meet him, but just to hear where the story goes, and what he says, what he has to say, and what his motivations are to the Mountain is just, oh man, you don't need to know him for very long. Once you hear why he wants to fight the Mountain, why he wants to kill him, and why he's so convinced that he will die, once you hear his motivations, it's like, okay, I'm on board with that guy. I want that guy to win. It doesn't matter because of what the Mountain did. So, anyway, I don't want to get into too much because this is more talking about, what are the most anticipated moments. So for me, seeing that battle brought to life and seeing if they're going to change at the ending of it, especially because the ending of that battle, when I read it, I was kind of like, this is Game of Thrones, but I kind of would prefer it to go a little bit of a different way. Those of you guys who know what I'm talking about, you'll know what I mean. Particularly the end of the battle, I'd like to see if they're going to stick with that or if they're going to change it. I hope they change it, but again, that's just me wanting the good guy, the righteous person to win, and that's not Game of Thrones, right? If you want justice, you've come to the wrong place. If you think this has a happy ending, you haven't been paying attention. So, but anyway, that again rings true for that battle, if you guys know what I mean. So hopefully, just for me, they change just the last little part. I hope they just change it a little bit. Just have Oberyn just win, and then I guess you can't because of the thing with Tyrion. Yeah, darn it, never mind. I guess you can't change that because then you change too many other things in the story. Yeah, all right. I guess they don't have any choice there. But anyway, still, my second most anticipated moment is going to be Oberyn versus the Mountain. Number 1 is going to be, I mean, you guys probably already know it, the Purple Wedding, of course. Do I have to explain why it's my most anticipated moment? I don't think so. I mean, when you think about it, like so many, since we started the show, since the beginning of the series, everybody's always hated Joffrey. I mean, the very first time we meet him, within one episode, we hate him already. And at this point, it's like, oh, I just cannot wait to see him get it, And he's been alive for so long throughout the series, and we're just sitting there thinking, like, I can't wait to see this guy get it. So as a result that it's been so long that we've been sitting there saying that, now it's become so hyped and so anticipated to this time that I couldn't put even one of the most epic sword battles or type medieval battles ever ahead of this one. This one has been built up so much, and to see it finally play out, I cannot wait to see it. I cannot wait to see. And as a viewer, it kind of like gives us some kind of vengeance for what happened with Rob, to see this season. So many events happen in this season where it's like, okay, people are going to pay for what happened. And that for me is my most anticipated moment, is with Joffrey. So anyway, didn't want to get too much into detail here. I really hope no one has watched this video that hasn't read the book and didn't already know what I'm talking about. So, but if you did, I'm really sorry. I shouldn't have made this video then, because I regret doing that for anyone who I just spoiled the events of season 4 for you, or at least the top 5 best ones. So it couldn't get any worse than that. So hopefully I didn't do that. That was not my intention. It's just for people who know what's going to happen and want to hear what my thoughts are on which moments I'm waiting for the most, or most anticipated for me. Now, I'll probably do some more Game of Thrones videos leading up to the the start of season 4. The trailer got me really hyped for it, and I'm really in a kind of Game of Thrones type mood right now. So if anybody has any video suggestions for other videos talking about season 4 and anything of the sort, please feel free to write them below or PM them to me through YouTube, and I'll take them into consideration, because I like to do as many Game of Thrones videos as I can. It's one of my favorite series ever on television. I think it's an amazing series, and I'm really excited for season 4. Anyway, I'll call it here. That's it for this video, guys. I'll see you for the next one. This is Tret, and I'm saying peace.